The Meg is still on Max, just in case you're wondering. It has audio description. And I watched it again because Meg 2, The Meganing, I don't know, whatever it is. Meg 2, the sequel nobody asked for, is hitting HBO Max, so I wanted to prep for it by getting ready with a rewatch of The Meg. Also, it's spooky season, bitches, and this is a great way to kick it off, even though this is not really a scary movie, but with The Meg 2 and The Meg, it's a kind of a great way to just begin spooky season, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to be reviewing horror movies and other like-minded movies throughout the month of October to fill your diet, so to speak. But today we're going to talk about Jason Statham and some sharks. So in case you haven't seen The Meg, that's what this is about. I'm actually a really big fan of Deep Blue Sea. It's kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine. I have to say guilty pleasure because it's like one of those films that people are not supposed to like. Like everybody's like, oh, that film is dumb. I'm like, it's really fun. I love it. I love Deep Blue Sea. Like unabashedly. I know I'm not supposed to. Like I know that like if I got into a room full of critics and we were having a conversation, I'm really not supposed to say that out loud. I feel like I would get ejected. They'd be like, remove him. He's not one of us. He's supposed to like Breathless and other films of that ilk, not Deep Blue Sea. Sorry, I like Deep Blue Sea. And actually, I kind of like The Meg. It's pretty formulaic, and it kind of just follows trends pretty well in this genre. This is my second time seeing it. I didn't realize how much I had forgotten this film. It came out in 2018, which was already after I'd been diagnosed and was losing my vision. And I think I definitely could see a little bit better in 2018 than I could now. So I don't know, I can't remember how much of this I could actually see when I saw this. Probably not a lot, but it was maybe why I don't remember a lot of it. So, but it was like every single character death was almost like a new thing for me. I was like, oh, does this person live or die? I don't remember. You know, I just had like feelings about people. I was like, they're focusing way too much on this. Like, there's a little girl in here. I never thought the little girl was going to be eaten by the shark. I was like, this girl is going to ride that shark, no matter what. She's gonna be fine. Like, if her and the Meg are gonna make friends or something, but that girl's never being eaten by the shark. But maybe that kid on the beach at the end, I was not so sure, because he was just kind of whiny. He just kind of sat there and cried, and I was like, where are his parents? Who is watching him? We have a toddler and a floaty out in the middle of the water, and everybody's screaming about sharks, and his parents never come to get him. He just sits there. I'm like, like what? Anyway, but there's obviously some sort of research vessel that we're not supposed to be having that goes out into the ocean, and they go down to the Mariana Trench, where the deepest depths are, where if something was going to lurk, it would be in the Mariana Trench, and they try to explore it. And science kind of goes out the window here, even though this film is about science. We just accept the fact that we've advanced our skills to be able to do all of these things, and so listen to film science in this film, and you'll be fine. And of course, things go awry, and they need Jason Statham. But Jason Statham is like a plateau, Joel. I'm not going back. I'm not going after them. I'm not going down there. But there's somebody he already knows is down there. Somebody he cares about. So he's like, fuck. I must go. That's my Jason Statham voice. It's not great. It's not a great... Subscribe for shitty Jason Statham voices, by the way. That's how Jason Statham gets roped into this. He's actually pretty good. I mean, he's entertaining. He's just Jason Statham playing Jason Statham at this point. Just like Schwarzenegger or Stallone got roped into films for a while there. They're just kind of doing their thing. Statham's just kind of doing his thing. He's probably really upset that because the physics of water don't allow him to like roundhouse kick the Megalodon, that doesn't happen. Because I'm sure he would have. I'm sure he would have, loved to bust out one of his moves. Fun fact about Jason Statham. The guy is an excellent swimmer. If nobody knows where Jason Statham actually started his career, he was actually a professional diver. So this guy can swim. He was actually trying to make the Olympics way back in the day when he was young, before he popped off his acting career. So he can absolutely swim. He was probably really comfortable in a lot of these scenes. He was like, yeah, I'm good out here in the water. He also makes diving look really good when he did, because he probably taught everybody on set how to properly dive into the water. He's like, no, this is how you do it. This is how you make it look real good. And then dove. And they're like, wow, why is he so good at this? It's... If you know, you know, and now you guys know. I have bestowed upon you that knowledge that Jason Statham once was a professional diver before he was an actor. Anyway, or amateur diver? I don't know. Can you be a professional? What a weird thing to be professional in. What do you do for a living? I dive from a diving board into the water, and I do it really well. And I make a living doing that. It's very great. All right. This film also has Masaoka, who I deeply miss. Every time I hear that name, I'm like, oh, heroes. Whatever happened to Masaoka? Yeah, he's in this, sort of. Bing Bing Lee now? I guess she got married. Is in this. And we've also got Ruby Rose, who I know that makes the internet happy all the time. I mean, you bring up Ruby Rose in a film and the internet just lots of like heart emojis all over the place. Big fans. They've never trolled Ruby Rose before, ever, on the internet. But she's in this. And Cliff Curtis, aka the guy that's in all those movies and you don't remember what his name is. He's in this too. And then Rainn Wilson plays the guy you know is gonna die. The guy you're like, there's no way. There's no way this guy makes it out of the movie. Like the guy you're spending the whole time going, he's essentially the villain, right? So, yeah. There are those characters in movies. That's not a spoiler. Those characters in movies where you're in a horror movie and you're watching like a quasi villain, and you're like, when is Freddy gonna get to this guy? This guy's a douche. There's no way this guy's surviving to the end of the film. And you're like, oh, there it is. We got it. Done. Yeah, when you have asshole characters in horror movies, they usually don't survive. This guy's a douche. So, entertaining, but a douche. And some other characters whose actors' names I wasn't familiar with before and will not be familiar with after this film. So, I don't know who makes it to the sequel. I don't know if it's just Jason Statham and like a new crop of fresh faces. He's not the only one that survives, but They do this thing with his dog where they're like, "Oh my God, is the shark gonna eat the dog?" That's one of the things, because they know like audiences are like, "Not the dog." We can watch this shark eat like thousands of people, but if the dog was left alive at the end, people would be like, "Oh, but the dog survived. Good doggy, good doggy." Um, it's fine. I think people just, we watch films and we're like, our films have to be overly intelligent, and the script has to be a masterclass, and I don't know, can't they just be fun? Can't we just go to a movie and have fun? I had fun. Is it great? No, it's not. It's not great at all. This is my second time watching it, and I was like, this movie is really fucking long. This movie's 2 hours. It does not need to be 2 hours. Way too much explaining. I think that they think that this is like some sort of hard concept that we're not able to grasp. It should have been way quicker. It should have just been like, there's some sharks in the ocean. We need Jason Statham. Let's get him. All right, we got him. Let's send him in. All right, we send him in, and oh shit, things are going awry. Done. 90 minutes, tight, over. I don't know why this is like an hour and 50 some odd minutes. It feels like it's about to end so many times. I appreciate the ending beach sequence where they're like, we got to stop the megalodon before it hits a large population. I mean, yeah, I get it. And that's, from what I understand, kind of also the sequel. But I don't know that we needed that. I don't know that we did. I mean, it just kind of extends the life of the film past where it needs to really go. So it just ends up feeling long instead of nice, tight, short, the kind of film that you just pop in and the action kind of flows and it's over. And that's what this should be, but it's not. So actually, more than anything, not the writing, not the acting, everything is fine for a genre. It's really just the length. This is too long for what it is. This should be quick and over. Kind of like this review. Audio description's fine too. I don't know. I do not remember the context under which I watched this. I don't even know if I saw it in theaters or if I saw it at home. I don't know where I know I've seen The Meg. Like, I'm positive that I've seen The Meg. And there were some scenes that I did remember. And, some fates that I remembered and stuff like that, but not everybody's. So, like, I didn't pay enough attention the first time around, I guess. I can't remember if I actually ever saw any of this. I have no idea, but the audio description here was really pretty good. Unfortunately, it was so long. I couldn't even be bothered to sit through the credits. I'm so sorry. I don't know who does the narration for this, but I forgot The Meg was as long as this was, and I just needed to get out and get away from my TV by the time this movie was over. I was like, I don't know what happened with the runtime of this film, but I thought this one was way shorter than it was. It's one of those things where I allotted a certain amount of time, and then I went 20 minutes over that, and I was like, this movie has to be over. Please end soon. Why isn't this movie ending? But yeah, I thought it was good. It does a good job. It reminds me of who the character names are, which is great because they don't always say character names, and there are several characters, at least throughout the beginning part of the film, to try to pay attention to. And, they want to give bait for these sharks to be able to eat them. So they have to have a lot of people out in the middle of the ocean for really no particular reason other than to just have them. So, there's that. Yeah, it describes blood in the water and stuff like that, and all the gross sequences and the the sort of cool thing that they do. There's a cool thing that they do at the end with the eventual uh, triumph over the Meg. We'll go with that. That's described pretty well. So I was pretty happy with the audio description. So good job on that. And I am very aware now that Jason Statham's character is called Jonas, because they used it so many times. I remembered it. I didn't even IMDb that shit. I know it's Jonas. I know it's Jonas. And that's good. Repetition is how we learn things. This is my second time through. I didn't grade this the first time. This was in my break when I was still dealing with like losing my vision and figuring out if I had a voice in the film community. So I've never reviewed nor have I graded the Meg. So I have nothing to compare it on. I don't know what I graded this first time around. But this feels like it's I'm gonna go with the B minus here. I'd prefer to watch Deep Blue Sea because I think Deep Blue Sea's pacing is a little bit better and doesn't try to end 15 times and the film just keeps going. This film has so many times where it just ends and they're like, no, we're gonna keep going. We're not over. And I'm just, no. So pacing is probably my biggest problem here. It's probably not the biggest problem for most film critics. I'm sure they were like, the plot is stupid. That's my biggest problem with the film. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Can't wait to see the sequel, which is even more maligned by critics. And I will be getting that review hopefully the same time that I'm also reviewing this. I'm not watching these two films on the same day, but I plan to release my reviews on the same day. Haha. If this works out well. I've already said it. I've put it out there to the world. So you can go to my website, macmovieguyy.com. You can go to X, Threads, or Instagram and follow me at MacMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what is audio description, where you can watch it. And you can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who is narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it for me today. I will review something else and see you guys on the other side of spooky season. What? What? That's what I got.